Hi guys, how's everyone doing? I just wanted to answer a couple of comments on social media as to why I call the Philippines home. You know, I've been going to the Philippines now for some 30 years, and I've been there probably in excess of 60 times. I'm absolutely in love with the country, with the culture, with the people. To me, they are so caring, so friendly, welcoming, and warm. And I know that when Filipinos talk about going back to the Philippines, they talk about going home. They talk about going to the place that they were born, or their parents were born in. So therefore, when people talk in generically, they say, "When are you next going home?" And I've just adopted that. I've adopted that phrase. Um, did you call the Philippines home before or after you met your wife? Before. I've always called the Philippines home. So that's the thing, Ruby, that's a good point. You were born here in the UK, but you also call the Philippines home. As they say, home is where the heart is, and where you feel comfortable and where you feel happy. Whenever I go to the Philippines, I feel a great sense of relief, a great sense of, how do I put this? Whenever I'm stressed in life, whenever I'm maybe depressed, when I land in the Philippines, I feel that I've reached home. I have that connection with the people, with the country. I've said this before. I absolutely love even the way that Filipinos speak, their pronunciation of words, their warm tones. I've got to say this because, again, I got a little bit of bashing as to the Philippines is not your home. You live in the UK. Yes, of course, I accept that. I was born in the UK. I live in the UK. I'm a British citizen, and I'm proud to be British. But the fact is, I have this deep-rooted love and I guess connection with the Philippines. And of course, whenever I go back to the Philippines, it's not my real home. I don't live there. I never have lived there, and I probably never will live there. But even so, it's just a phrase, a terminology, but it means so much more than that to me. It's what's in your heart, it's what's in your spirit, and to me, the Philippines to me is home. It's where I feel so comfortable, it's where I feel so relaxed, it's where I feel at one with the Filipino people. And that's why whenever people bash the Philippines, or people bash the Filipino people, to me, you're offending me. You're offending my family. You're offending the people that I love, the people that I care for. What frustrates me is there should be more people standing up for the Philippines. I truly believe that if you are married to a Filipino, it is your absolute sworn duty to support the country, to support the government, to pray for the government, pray for the country, to send money back home to your family and support your family. I see all of these things online recently about why they're always sending money back home to their family. Well, as far as I'm concerned, people have to understand, if you marry somebody from the Philippines, one of the reasons, if they're actually living in the UK or in America or whatsoever, one of the reasons why people leave the Philippines is to support their families. They didn't leave the Philippines for love. They didn't leave the Philippines just for the fun of it. One of the main reasons why people leave the Philippines in terms of OFWs is to provide for their families and send money back home. So why is it right, just because they marry a foreigner, they're not supposed to send money back home to their families anymore? That doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. I truly believe that we should support the Philippines. We should support the Filipino people, particularly now more than ever when they are facing difficulties due to COVID-19 as the rest of the world is facing. We should really be uplifting the country. We should be promoting tourism. We should be promoting the Philippines as much as we can, because of course we want more people to go there. We want more people to appreciate the country. You know, as there is some negative press, it's the responsibility of anybody who is married to a Filipino to promote the country as much as they possibly can, to uplift the country, to pray for the country. And this includes politicians, this includes people in the church and everybody else. But again, I've sidetracked a little bit. That's not what I wanted to say. The main thing, again, that I wanted to say is it doesn't matter if you can speak Filipino. It doesn't matter if you can speak Tagalog. Yes, I can understand a little bit of Filipino, but that doesn't make me Filipino. Yes, I can understand a little bit about Filipino culture, but that doesn't make me Filipino. What makes me, I believe, a Filipino at heart is what's in my heart. And in my heart right now, I have an overwhelming love, an overwhelming compassion, and an overwhelming sense of Filipino pride. You know, every single time I see a Filipino win a competition, be it a sporting competition or a music competition, it makes me cry. Every single time I see a Filipino on the world stage or performing, it makes me cry. It makes me really emotional. Whenever I see the Filipino flag or hear the Filipino national anthem, again, I get really emotional. I don't know why that's the case. You know, I don't look Filipino from the outside, but, you know, somewhere in my heart, I have a deep sense of passion and a deep sense of loving towards the Filipino people. You know, people have to understand that I've been to the Philippines maybe over 55 times, maybe, perhaps even slightly more. But in that time, I've had some amazing experiences. You know, I have been at my happiest when I've been in the Philippines. You know, when I'm in Makati Avenue, when I'm with my wife's family in the Philippines, when I'm riding a bus or a jeepney or a tricycle, I'm at my happiest. I'm at my most contented. And that's the thing, you know. And as they say, home is where the heart is. Of course, I'm proud to be British and I would always want to remain British. But I also consider myself proud to be a Filipino at heart. And, you know, I have this understanding, I have this resonance. You know, I can't get away from the fact that every single day I want to meet Filipinos. I want to see them. I want to talk to them. I want to listen to them. Maybe it's a passion or maybe it's an obsession. I really don't know. Maybe I'm obsessed with the Philippines. But again, I can't change the way I feel. I can't change the way that I am. You know, when I see Filipinos get any kind of racism towards them, it makes me incredibly angry. When I see Filipinos getting victimized, when I read news, bad news about what might be happening in the Philippines. People always say this, because your wife is Filipina and Julie Coang. It's nothing to do with my wife being Filipino whatsoever. In fact, I'm more likely more Filipino than my wife. In fact, family members, you know, they're not as, how do I put this? They're not as really sort of, they don't go on about the Philippines 24/7 like I do. They don't watch anything Filipino every single day. They don't want to watch YouTube videos of people in the Philippines. They don't want to hear people speaking in Filipino. It's me who wants to do that. It's me who wants to do that every single day. And it's me who misses the Philippines. You know, it's me who absolutely cries when I can't go back home. It's me who gets really upset when I hear, I don't know, me who gets really upset when I hear that I can't go there right now because of the immigration. I understand that. I've no problems with that. But of course, I still miss the country and I still miss the people very, very much. You know, as I said, the Philippines to me is my ultimate stress reliever. It's something that makes me really happy. And as I said, when I see the Philippines mentioned, be it in a movie, be it in a TV show, I get really happy, I get really excited, and I feel a great sense of pride. And I also feel it's the responsibility of every single foreigner who is partnered with a Filipino to feel that great sense of pride, to uplift the country. I hate it when people speak negatively about the Philippines. I believe the best thing to do is look at the positive aspects. I believe the best thing to do is to uplift the country, to uplift the people. Yes, there are issues. Yes, there are financial pressures in the country right now. A lot of people are not working due to COVID-19. Of course, I fully understand that. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to stop having my love for the country. That doesn't mean that I'm going to stop having my passion. And that doesn't mean that I'm going to stop wearing the Philippines on my sleeve. You know, I often go out to places wearing a Philippine jacket or a Philippine t-shirt. I do that because I'm incredibly proud to say that I love the Philippines. You know, I want to promote the Philippines wherever I go. You know, I want people to talk about the country. I want people to question me about the best time to go or the best places to visit. You know, everyone who loves the Philippines must become walking ambassadors for the country. We are all ambassadors for the Philippines. That is what you have to do, you know. So to me, the Philippines is my home. It's not my real home. I'm probably not even going to retire there. I might go there for 6 months of the year, but I can't say that at this stage. All I can say is whether I physically live there or not. The fact is, it is a home away from home. I feel that a connection with the Filipino people. I feel a passion, a love, as I said, you know, even when I hear Filipinos talking, it makes me happy, it makes me excited listening to Filipinos speaking in their national language. You know, I'd rather people speak in their national language in front of me because then I can hear the language of the Philippines. You know, I don't like it when some people say, oh, don't speak Filipino because there's English people here. Why not? The Philippines is the language of Filipinos. Why not speak your native tongue? The same as I've got the right to speak my native tongue. Somebody could say to me, why are you speaking English in front of Filipinos? Why not? English is my native tongue, just the same as Tagalog, or not even Tagalog. Filipino is the native tongue of Filipinos. And you know, I love the accent, the pronunciation. I think Filipino is such a, how do I put this? It's such a cute, sexy language. It sounds nice. It has that resonance. It has that lovely pronunciation. It's soft spoken. It's how do I put this? I love the tone of Filipino, and you know that's one of the things that I love. I also love the food. I love the culture. I love the fact that Filipinos are so polite. I also love this thing where, you know, when you're speaking to an elder as a Filipino, you would call them your older sister or your older brother, so your ate or your kuya. And then somebody much older than you would call them your lola or your lolo, so grandmother or grandfather. And this, I think, is excellent. This is, I think, is missing from most cultures. You know, this is a sign of respect, a sign of endearment, and this is why families are so important in the Philippines. And this is why, how do I put this? This is why there's so much love for elders. You know, in this country, we don't say to every single female we meet, hello sister, or we don't say to every single older female we meet, hello mother. I wish we did, you know, I wish we would all be unified. I wish we'd all be one family and that we would respect our elders. And this is a great thing that I admire about Filipinos that's sadly missing in the UK. And I do believe there's much more respect towards authority in the Philippines, and I believe there's much more respect towards people who are doing a good job. You know, you wouldn't dare swear at a nurse in the Philippines. It would never happen. You wouldn't dare swear at a doctor in the Philippines. It would never happen. And yet people in the UK, not everyone, but there are some people in the UK who do swear at these kind of people. You know, I just think that the Philippine culture is truly incredible. You know, and they're such a happy people. You know, even in times of adversities, even when there's maybe like a typhoon or something like that, the Filipino people will always find a way through. You know, I have to say, my wife, you know, she's very resilient. Whenever there's a problem in life, she'll just say, let's find a way, let's try and find a way to overcome it. You know, even if it's something simple like we've I don't know, we can't find some kind of piece of equipment that we need to use, she would find something else and use that instead. And I think that's what's so good, you know, I think that's what's so awesome. And of course, why I'm so privileged to marry somebody from the Philippines. Because of course my wife is very resourceful, she's very respectful, you know, but people who say it's just because it's your wife, the only reason why you love the Philippines is because of your wife, has nothing to do with it. I started loving the Philippines long before I met my wife. You know, I've loved the Philippines for more than 28, 30 years. You know, as I said, I've got this resonance with the country, and I just love the country and people so much. Anyway, I hope that makes sense, everybody. Thanks, Priscilla. Thanks, Ruby. Ruby Garcia, hi. Thanks, Sophie, hi. June, stay safe. Malcolm. Carly, I'm proud of you. Thanks so much. Ruby Garcia, it doesn't matter where you were born, but the Philippines is where your heart is. It is your home. Exactly right, that. I agree. Dave Moskrop, if my plans come to fruition, Philippines will be my home in a relatively short time. I'm really pleased to hear that, Dave. You know, I really almost envy you. You know, I think it's awesome that you're able to do that. For personal reasons, I'm not able to live in the Philippines. But that doesn't mean that I don't love the culture. That doesn't mean that I don't love the people. And that doesn't mean that every single time I go home, you know, I don't resonate with the country. Hi, Kelly. Cultural discrimination is not good. I completely agree with you. Sadly, there is still a lot of discrimination, and that's just a sad thing. Yeah, so, Marilyn, wow, thank you, sir. Cecil, thank you for loving the Philippines. Stay safe and God bless. Watching from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. And Julie, true, sir, big check. Jeneth Miguel Reyna. My husband is British, but he loves to live here in the Philippines. Watching from Kuwait. Mimi Mendez. My boyfriend says the best girlfriend he have is a Filipina. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, thanks guys. Thanks for watching. Very best wishes and stay safe, particularly during COVID-19. I appreciate that things are hard right now. But yeah, thanks. Thanks, June. Yeah, that's right. You know, the Philippines is my second home. It's not my real home. I don't have a personal house there. I don't live there. But it's still perfectly fine, I believe, to call a country your home, whether it's your actual home, whether it's your spiritual home. Home is where the heart is, and that's my sort of way of concluding this video. It doesn't matter where you're from in the world, but wherever you believe that you want to be, wherever you resonate with the most, that is where you say home is where the heart is. And my home is in the Philippines, as well as, of course, of being in the UK. Willie Martinez, hello sir, thank you for loving the Philippines. It's a great honour to hear an English guy giving care for our country. Best regards and God bless. You know, I started this today because I've been bashed a little bit. It's like, it's your home's in the UK, you know, your home is not in the Philippines. But as I said, it's how you feel, and right now I feel that my home is in the Philippines. Although, of course, I live in the UK, I accept that. Hi, Cora. So yeah, thanks very much to everybody watching. Stay safe, and to everybody in the Philippines, my very best wishes. Magandang gabi. Yeah, it is evening now. Magandang gabi. And yeah, best wishes to everyone, and to everyone else in the world. Magandang tanghali, magandang umaga, magandang hapon. Wherever you may be. Best wishes. Thanks, guys.